If you guys know, the eclipse is coming up soon. So I figured this is an excellent time to use the moon phase indicator, which I'm gonna be honest with y'all, is a big fat load of bullshit. I'm just kidding. To be honest, I really wanted to try this. This is the trade. This is platinum. We're looking at a 4-hour time frame. Some of you guys, if you don't know my strategy, maybe this looks like a little bit of a laser show to you. If you guys do know my strategy, and you do know that I trade with trend lines and some areas of support and resistance, then you understand what this looks like. All of the red trend lines are where I try to find downward trends. The green trend lines are upward trends, bullish or bearish. I'm trying to figure out which one the price is actually gonna follow. So you can see entry is here at this blue arrow. I got in at 918.7. 20 contracts. Yes, I realize that is a hefty position. I am at a point in my trading career now where I can buy 20 contracts. Very cool. I've been trading for 9 years now. I have made the transition from day trading to swing trading as well. So now I'm going on year 2. This is the second year of being a swing trader. And wow, it's incredible. Let's talk about why I entered this position. First things first, what you need to do is go to indicators. And what we're gonna do is turn on the moon phases. If you guys know, the eclipse is coming up soon. So I figured this is an excellent time to use the moon phase indicator. I have to incorporate 2 things into my strategy. One, if we're incorporating the moon phases, which I'm gonna be honest with y'all, is a big fat load of bullshit. I'm just kidding. To be honest, I really wanted to try this. I truly experimented with the moon phases. I kid you not, in this trade, I'm like, you know what? I've always made fun of, different indicators and different ways to trade and different strategies. How hilarious would it be coming up on the eclipse, coming up on the moon phase indicator, if I could place a trade that coincides with both aspects, my trendline trading strategy and the phases of the moon. And here we are, we're looking at my record trade to date, point blank period. Both of these came into play. Both of these played a role in this trade. It's ridiculous. Now we can go back and retest and be like, listen, let's back test and see. It didn't really work here, didn't really work here, didn't really work here. So you can see many times in the past where it didn't work, did work over here. Did work here. So it's comical. Let's go back to at least this one right here. We've got buy signals here. Coolest thing ever is I'm not getting into a trade unless a trend line is broken. So even if this moon indicator is telling me now is the time to buy, get in, the moons are aligning, the stars have aligned, do it. I still need my own strategy to tell me when to get in. This just so happens to be both case scenario where I got double confirmation from the literal moon out in outer space saying, you know what, somehow this moon has something to do with these charts. So it'll put on the chart the day of the waning or waxing moon or the new moon or full moon. I'm not sure which one of the two, to be honest, these are. I did take this position over here to go long. So let's talk about why my arrow or why my position over here is on the 26th and not when it broke here on the 25th. So I made a rookie mistake on the 25th last week. I got into my position. One, I'm just very excited to make content talking about the moon phases indicator and the solar eclipse coming up and how I already kind of poke fun at the different types of strategies there are out there because it's endless and how you can truly become profitable with many different strategies. So I was just really excited about this trade. So I got into the wrong contract. I got into platinum, but I got into the contract that was expiring maybe within 1 or 2 days. But I got into the contract that was getting ready to expire. Come on, Tori, you can't be making mistakes like that. I really beat myself up about it. I also hadn't traded for almost all of March. I had closed a trade at the beginning of March, and then we're looking at the very end of March now, and I'd only placed 1 trade. So I was just feeling I was putting a lot of pressure on placing a trade. I was excited about content. I really beat myself up about it. I was really bummed that I got into a contract that's getting ready to expire. Like I should know by now. I shouldn't be making rookie mistakes like that. That was something that I was bummed about, and it messed up I'm so overly concerned about the stats of my trading to share with you guys because I want it to be so aesthetic and so perfect, so amazing. And to have to close a position and then re-enter with, plus or minus this tiny little profit, it just messes everything up. So now my win percentage is messed up. I shouldn't let these things affect me. There's so many things that are coming into play that I need to clear out and clean up and just focus on the trade itself. Bring it back to square one and just understand that yes, you are an influencer, you are an educator, you are an entrepreneur, but I'm also a trader and I need to be the best at that. So we can't be making rookie mistakes like that. I beat myself up about it. I had to close that position with a $2,000 loss and then re-enter on the current trading contract. Long story short, that is why you won't see the position here. You'll see the open position here a few days later. I had to take a little loss when I got into my long position here, pulled back about $2,000, closed it, and then had to re-enter a few days later here. That is why you'll see the entry looks a little bit late. Best case scenario, everything went according to plan. I didn't mess up. I didn't goof. Entry would be here on this break of the downward trend line. So you guys will ask what qualifies as an entry, and it is a break of a trend line. Also, with that being said, I truly have to be convinced that this thing is breaking the trend line. It can't just touch the trend line. It can't just peek out of the trend line. Like, I have to truly have conviction that the price is changing direction, is breaking out of the current trend it's been following along. Now, I'm in a 4-hour time frame, so I've got plenty of time to get that conviction or to be convinced. To wait a few hours until I'm really convinced this thing is going absolutely qualifies for an entry. Now, on lower time frames, that might be a totally different story. Maybe waiting for the candle to close or a retest. There's other things that can qualify as a good entry on the lower time frames. But on the 4-hour time frames, this is my headspace. Entry is here at 918.7, 20 contracts in platinum. We had a wild ride. What an interesting few, let's see, when did we get in? On March 26th, Tuesday. Wow, how long was I in this? So I was in this just about over a week. So this seems to be still the average of my hold time all this year is about a week. A week and a day, a week minus a day, plus or minus. That's been my average hold time all this year. We enter our position. We're gonna say it constitutes for back here in my original position, but I got in late. It is what it is. Or I made that mistake of entering my position at not the right contract. Entry is the break of a trend line. We're thinking long positions. We're feeling good, and then boom, we get a snap back all the way to my safety line. If you guys have watched my live streams, my Instagram reels, or any of my strategy videos, you understand that I have an action line and a safety line. This upward green line was the line keeping me safe. It pulled all the way to it and literally kissed the freaking trend line. I was a little bit nervous. I was sweating a little bit. It came right to it. I'm like, ugh. If this breaks my safety line, I have to solidify this freaking loss. It's gonna be the first loss of the year. I'm like, all right, I'm getting ready to have to stomach the loss. Here we go. And then it turns around. I'm like, oh, oof, man. If you guys can relate to that sense of relief when price starts coming back in your favor, it's like you have a good day again. Now you can talk to people. You're feeling good. It's quite a funny sensation. Oh my gosh. So came right to the trend line, right to the safety line, kissed it, and then turned around. We're feeling relief. Now we've got about 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 4-hour candles go by, and then we get another snap down. Very close to the trend line again. Feeling the heat, getting a little sweaty again. And then turns around. Okay, now I'm feeling good. The sense of relief is there. I'm really thinking this thing is going. Confidence is there. I'm posting screenshots all over the place. Yeah, still in my trade, still feeling good. It stayed above my safety line. I had no reason to close it. And then we get a news day, and then it snaps down. We got another snap. Now this time it happened much quicker. We've got 2 4-hour candles where that thing just did nothing but completely retrace. And yet again, for a 1, I mean, we'll talk about here, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5th touch point. When I tell you guys how much I love platinum, I cannot express it enough. My strategy is a trend line trading strategy, and to see platinum respect these trend lines, it just does something to me. It is the freaking coolest thing. It truly respects these trend lines to a T. Not 2 touch points, not 3 touch points. We're getting like 5 freaking touch points on trend lines here. And then when it breaks the trend lines, it just goes. It's just, I cannot rave enough about it, how much I love platinum. Platinum, I think today we're gonna go ahead and solidify it. Right here, April 3rd at 3:33 p.m. You can see it here on the chart on the screen share. It's official. Platinum is my new favorite. Oil, I'm sorry. I love you, my guy, but platinum is my main man now. Oh my God, platinum. I love it. Jeez, it's incredible. So anyways, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points. When it pulled back here, I got very nervous. The nervousness never goes away. Nobody loves taking a loss. Like, yes, I understood the loss that I was gonna have to take. I understood where my loss was gonna be if it didn't work out. So I knew where it was gonna happen and when it was gonna happen and if it happened, but it's still never fun. So I'm sweating. I've got my cousin Lauren texting me like, are you still in your trade? And she's in a trade. And I'm like, yes, I'm still in. I'm in drawdown, but yes, I'm still in it. I've got some other students, you know, showing their trades too, and I'm still holding. I've got no reason to close, but man, was I sweating when it kissed it for a 5th time on this trend line. And then that immediate sense of relief, and then it goes away. Then price is turning around. Okay, we're back to this area of resistance where it has finally broken. We really thought it broke here and then snapped back. Then it finally just took it out as if this 921.6 didn't even exist. Snapped right through it. And then we created a 3rd touch point of this much longer time frame downward trend line. And I thought, okay, this might be it. We might be turning around. I may have to take my profit here if this does start turning around. I'm waiting for a better pullback on this steeper line. So this steeper line I didn't draw until just this morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I finally got a solid point A, a solid point B, a very convincing area where the price came up, pulled back, and then continued in that same same direction. I was very confident in this point B here when it did show me, okay, we've got a pullback and now we're continuing. Those pullbacks I always feel like I need to wait for and be much more patient for in the 4-hour time frame. I'm not ever inclined to really draw very steep trend lines in the 4-hour that just don't make sense to me. This one is too steep here. I wouldn't have drawn that. I truly am waiting for the price to give me a much clearer price. Looked like it was turning around and then continued in that direction. And same for over here. Over here, if I had entered when the very steep trend line was crossed, that would have been the greatest time to get in. Some of my students took that trade. They got in to a long position right there. Good for you guys. Amazing. Now, for some of you guys, I don't know if you've continued to hold through all of this, but if you did, amazing. Good job. Wow. I did not. I wasn't convinced enough on this trend line. I waited for a better area where price came up and then started rolling back over and then gave me a much more convincing point B. Point A, point B, 2 touch points, then entered on that break. That was my thinking on the trend line placement, the touch points of the trend lines, the pullbacks. Now, so here we are making a third touch point on a much higher time frame downward trend line, and I'm thinking, okay, this might actually roll over. And it didn't. Just this morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, that thing just continued up. Okay, so now let's talk about the trade, the numbers. I'm up a record amount, only by like $1,000, like maybe $1,300 am I now officially up my record amount. So my previous trade, I believe, was $29,000 and a few $100s. I'm currently up, we'll say we're going back in time about just a few hours ago, currently up $30,300. I'm wrestling with it, man. Oh, I'm wrestling with it. I'm thinking, do I call my uncle to help me kind of talk through this? I sent some messages to some other trader friends that are a little bit more, even more so experienced than I am, or just they have more experience with these larger position sizes. So I'm kind of seeking advice, and luckily I didn't get any today. So I think that's for the best. I made this decision on my own. I'm just struggling with it. I should still be in this. The entry was by the book, textbook trade on my strategy. The exit was not. I should still be in this trade. I should be in this trade until it breaks this upward green trend line, which is now my new safety line, which is where my profit will now trail along. My stop loss will now be in profit and it will trail along this. I'm just feeling a little bit of FOMO. Right now, the price is at $9.52. I got out at $9.48. These are true, real, raw motions. I'm happy that I closed another record trade. That's really freaking cool. So far, I've got 4 trades total. Now, we'll say technically 5. Technically 5 because I made a freaking rookie mistake and got into the wrong contract for platinum and had a $2,000 loss and had to re-enter. But we're gonna say if I hadn't made that mistake, we're looking at 4 trades for the year. It's April. 100% win rate is what it should have been. But here we are. I messed it up with that stupid freaking trade, which is driving me crazy. What a crazy day. It's an interesting day. At first, I was very anticlimactic. There wasn't much emotion going on. Okay, this is me processing the emotions right now as we speak. I feel a little bit sick to my stomach. I wish I hadn't closed it. Maybe let's talk about the wins. Let's talk about the pros. Profit is profit. A record trade is a record trade. Congrats, Tori. Dude, that's so exciting. Future me watching this video is going to be so proud. This is cool. We've got 4 trades for the year. It's so cool that I can count how many trades I've placed on my hand and remember every single one of them. This is wild. First trade of the year, it was in platinum, $10,000. Second trade of the year, in platinum, $30,000. Third trade of the year, oil, $10,000. Fourth trade of the year, platinum, $30,000. So this is where we're at. Let's show a little bit of numbers here. Oh, and then also don't forget, at the beginning of the year, the very beginning of March, when I closed my 3rd trade, I went ahead and withdrew $50,000. I withdrew everything that I had made for the year already so far. I was like, you know what? You're doing great. Let's go ahead and pay ourselves. Let's do the biggest withdrawal we've ever done. A lot of records here. We're doing a lot of things that we've never done before. So now the account size was down 50, and now we're building it back up. We've got another 30 in here. So it's very cool. It's very cool. Man, it's cool. I'm excited now. So here we go. You have made it to the end of this video. The realized profit and loss for this one trade in platinum, 20 contracts, held for a week and a day. We're looking at $30,138. It's pretty freaking cool. So I hope my explaining of the strategy made sense to you guys. The entry, the exit, we all know wasn't according to the strategy. One last little tidbit or one last little thing that I'm experiencing specifically in my strategy is my exits this year are becoming more dependent on the money and not the strategy. And I think it's because I'm putting so much emphasis on these personal bests, these record trades, these bigger positions. So I am closing much more often because I'm up X amount. So I think that's what I need to work on in Q2. We got to stop looking at the dollar amount amount, honey. You're doing great. Entries are amazing. Exits amazing. Profit is profit. But now let's stick to the strategy even more so. Let's truly hold these guys for as long as they're supposed to run. Let's stay in for the entirety of the trend, like you always talk about. Do as you preach. That's what I'm going to be working on for Q2. Less looking at the numbers. That is going to be huge for me in Q2. Let's get rid of the dollar amounts and just trade purely based on the strategy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What a cool freaking journey that you guys get to be on with me. If you have not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button because there's going to be so much bigger trades to come, so much bigger goals to hit. You want to be here for this journey. So hit the like button, drop a comment, and share this video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video. What is FOMO? FOMO is the fear of missing out. And you probably have experienced that a lot with social media, a lot with Bitcoin, and just your everyday trading when you see a big move. This is something that a lot of traders struggle with. It's an emotion that maybe you can't identify very quickly, but the quicker you can identify it, the better, because then you can go ahead and put some coping strategies in place to help you and prevent you from engaging in that FOMO. And this is something, I'll give you guys a story of the FOMO that I'm experiencing even as a trader who's been doing this for 9 years. The FOMO that I experienced just this past week was I'm trading on the 4-hour time frame. I have to wait a lot longer for my setups. I have only placed 3 to 4 trades and we're already in March. So if you can imagine the time in between these trades, waiting for these setups, it's very far and few between. Cut! Hi guys, Tori here, interrupting Tori in my own video. I wanted to talk to you guys about Apex. If you are a trader looking for capital, Apex Trader allows anywhere between 25 to 300K accounts. If you pass their evaluation, you can become a funded trader. Don't forget to enter code Tori for the best possible promotion. I missed some moves, and that, as a swing trader, is a very frustrating thing because you have to wait so long for these moves. And the fact that I missed them made me really frustrated. And the fact that I hadn't traded for most of March also made me very frustrated. And the fact that I saw these big moves happening as I missed them. Now we're getting some FOMO, we're getting some traction here, and the feelings are not good. And the result of this is taking bad entries, getting in too late, making mistakes in your trading. There are a lot of things that FOMO can cause in trading. So the faster we can identify that feeling, the better. Let's figure out, first of all, how we can identify that. If we're getting into a trade and it is not according to the strategy, your entry is too far away, it's already past your entry, let's not trade. Let's pass up on that trade. If you are making decisions too quickly and you're leaving room for mistakes, let's not trade. Let's take a step back. So these are just some things to identify. Okay, here's the FOMO. If you are on social media and you're reading that Bitcoin is literally at 70,000 again already, okay, that's what I see here on my screen. All right. And you're wanting to buy in, do not take that trade. You cannot act on the FOMO. So just identifying it and feeling it. Let it happen, feel it, because it's natural. It is human nature. We get these emotions for a reason. Feel it, sit in it, wrestle with it, but do not act on it. So this is the biggest thing traders can do is do not act on the FOMO. Sit in it, feel it, marinate in it, if you will, but just do not act on it. So going back to the story that I was talking about, where I was getting FOMO. With all of the factors that came into play, the fact that I missed the move, the fact that I'm in a 4-hour time frame and I have to wait so long for these moves to happen, and the fact that I hadn't traded for most of March, a lot of emotions were coming up. And one of those was FOMO. And what I wanted to do and what I was very aware of is I can feel this sense of urgency to trade. I can feel myself wanting to take a position even though the move has already happened, so it would be a late entry. But I was very aware of all these emotions. I knew exactly how I was feeling and I knew it wasn't correct thinking. So if you can identify those emotions as soon as possible, that's only going to set you up for success. So if you can identify those emotions, that's going to be step 1. Identify them, feel them, sit in them. But now let's come up with some coping strategies. Okay, do we need to separate ourselves from the market or from social media? What's creating this FOMO or this hype that's making us want to get in? Are we watching candles, green candles just continue, and it's making us feel strange and we want to get in even though it's a late entry? Let's close the screen. So these are just some things to identify. The emotions are first. You need to identify the emotions first. The second thing is putting some coping strategies into place. Let's close the screen. Let's separate ourselves from the markets or the charts or social media, whichever